Welcome back everyone to another interview in the series of Family Legal. I'm Arpanjot Kaur and along with me I have my friend Madhi Sharma and we are second year BLLB students from National Law School of India University. And today we are having conversation over an often overlooked but critically important aspect of divorce under Hindu law, the procedural journey itself. Divorce,
Yes,
as we all know, isn't just about citing legal grounds. It's about navigating a complex and really complicated system, understanding the steps and overcoming practical hurdles, as ma'am would understand really well. From the very first consultation with lawyer to the final court order, each step plays a pivotal role. And to help us unpack this intricate process, we are honored to have with us Ms. Sangeeta Jachak, a seasoned legal expert with an impressive 28 years of experience practicing in the High Court. As an additional government pleader and public prosecutor, she has handled a wide array of cases spanning criminal matters and matrimonial disputes. Beyond her courtroom expertise, Ms. Chachak has also served as family counselor, offering a unique perspective on both the legal and emotional dimensions of divorce. We are really grateful to have you with us, ma'am. Next, now my friend would take over to guide us through the further process. Right.
Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. Over the next hour, we aim to talk about three main themes. First, we want to talk about the step by step procedure of filing the divorce, from the initial client consultation to strategizing for the case. I think we want to discuss what information practically lawyers seem to prioritize and the factors which influence the legal strategies and the way you recommend them to go about, and also some of the common misconceptions that people bring to the table.
okay.
Next, we also delve into the out of court settlement and mediation. Finally, we want to examine how evidence collection evolves in the digital age.
Hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, may I
Uh,
start?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just start with the very first question. I think my friend had put forward a lot of things, so
Okay,
I'll take the things step by step. So, to begin
okay.
with, first of all, we'd love to understand the typical journey a client might take when they first decide to seek a divorce under Hindu law. And could you walk us through the initial steps from that, like, very first consultation, including the
Yes,
critical information, like how do you gather the information to the point
yes.
where you decide on the best legal strategy for the case? Like, what factors do you think are crucial for you in that initial assessment? Like having such a great experience, I think you can guide us through the very initial step itself.
Yes. See, the Hindu Marriage Act came into force on 18th May 1955. The main reason for enforcing this act is in the early Hindu families or Hindu communities. What happened? So many women are deserted by their husbands, and they don't have any option to stay on the mercy of somebody. So the Hindu Law Committee was constituted, and the Hindu Law Committee constituted for purpose whether the woman can remarry if she desires. So for that reason, they have collected the data, the evidences they have collected, and they have put the all the evidences before the committee, and the committee has given a positive relief to the state authorities, that is parliament and other things, for the implementations of the divorce in Hindu law. See, the Hindu law is applicable to those who is a person who is a person or the community belongs to Hindu families following the Aryas in early stages. So the Hindu marriage act is applicable to Hindus only. And in whatever I have stated, that in early days the women were deserted by the men, and because of their dependency, this law, the Hindu marriage act, came into force. So the first step is that the what the steps, if they don't have the spouse, the spouses don't have their likings, different likings, and the different thinkings, and they are not match the intellectual level. Nowadays the intellectual level is the most important thing, because the girls and the boys both are independent, and they are pursuing higher studies, they are earning the basic. The what my thinking is that the basic reason for increasing the cases of divorce is the financial independence of the girls. Because see, the family concept, what is the family concept? See, the woman is the strength of the family. So it's not like that if she is earning, then she will not look after the family members or the family. See, the in Marathi we are saying, you don't know. I don't know whether you understand Marathi or not. The Gruhini word is for the woman. The Gruhini who is controlling the home. The home who is controlling the home. If we are you are the daughters, after finishing your examination and everything, where you want to catch the home and the mother. This is what the responsibility of the woman. Nowadays, because of the financial independence, the independent thinking is there, and the clashes, the differences started on PT issues. Like, I am also earning, you are going out, I am also going out. Why should I do all the household works? Why you not? Why I should take every responsibility? Why not? This is the all PT issues. The differences started from the PT issues, and it increases because of the ego. Nobody want to be a submissive, and then it starts. And because of the interference, I want to suggest you people that you have an independent thinking capacity. You are a good decision maker. Then you don't allow anybody to interfere in your family life or family matters. Because of the most of 80% divorces are because of the interference of the family members. And see, the mother is the key role plays in this. I'm not talking against the woman, but the mother should give understanding to the son as well as to the daughter, to understand the person, the partner who is in your life. See, no one is perfect in this world. Everyone has some lacuna, everyone has some good qualities. If the person who is entered in your life, or who you have accepted as your partner, you should accept him whatever he is, along with his all abilities and non abilities and everything. And once you accept this, then there is a, I think then there is a every possibility that the bride and groom may take the family married life to the logical end. See, because of all this, what happened? The simple example I want to give you. First, my divorce case is after 3 months of the marriage. That man, the husband, approached to me that the girl don't want to stay with him because he has restricted her personal liberty. And what is the issue in regard to the personal liberty? They went to Mumbai to drop the husband's sister, who was a resident of Canada. She came to India for the marriage. She attended a marriage, and after completing her holidays here, they just went to see off her in Mumbai. And while just roaming in the Mumbai, they were to the Juhu beach or some beach. The husband want to take a nariyal pani, and the wife wants the coke. So because of he has insisted for the Nariyal Pani, he has restricted her personal liberty, and therefore she has taken a decision not to stay with such a person who is restricting her personal liberty. This is the small issue that was my first divorce case. So the husband is asking to take that gajra we are saying in Marathi, that flower like garland, that she don't like, and he want to put it on her hair. And that's why this is the small issue for the divorce. That was my first case 20 years before. That the and the main for the divorce, the conditions put by the law, that is for the divorce petition, there is a necessity of 1 year separation. Here, the marriage was just 3 months before. So what we have done, while the mediation took place and they were then agreed for the mutual consent divorce, then they we have shown their marriage prior to their separation, just though it is three months before, but we have given earlier date, and then we have filed the divorce for mutual consent under section 13B, because there is no specific time limit for the divorce petition. And see, but the first thing, you have to seek instructions if the husband comes or if the wife comes. Then the nowadays what happened, the bharosa cell is opening in every police station. If the wife went to the police station for filing some the complaint under section 498 cruelty and everything, then the police authorities, instead of lodging the report, is sent to the Farosa cell for compromise or for settlement. Nowadays, the state has taken these steps. Even the parliament is central authorities also saying before filing the divorce petition, every attempt should be done for conciliation, for reunion of the husband and wife. So the first is to the we just discuss with the spouse whether it's her final or his final decision to go for the divorce, because it's a last resort. And sometime what happens within a year, you cannot understand the person for how he is in the arranged marriage cases. In love marriage, the things are the different. In love marriage, in arranged marriages, within a year you cannot understand the person. So we are saying you just wait, whatever your difficulty, you sit together, you go for outing, you discuss what is your issue regarding in-laws or their personal some issues arose between they start cohabiting. That is also the one the reason, because of the some misunderstanding, some issue crop up, then the wife or the husband uh, discloses their early some affairs or something like that, then again that would also crop up the issue. The differences started on that
Right.
issue also. So
Ma'am, right.
yes,
I just wanted to follow up on what you mentioned about the fact that divorce by mutual consent under 13B
yes,
has no time limit. So I think
yes.
in general, we know in
No, no,
India,
no, has no,
specifically,
for no. For 13B, there is a limitation. The 6 months period, cooling period, what we are saying, the cooling period for 6 months. For the divorce on other grounds like cruelty, there are a different nullity of marriage, then the marriage void ab initio, then the desertion and the dissolution of marriage and divorce. There are different things. Nullity of marriage is that if something suppressed at the time of the marriage, and if the spouse came to know after the cohabitation and anything, in that case the within a year the spouse can file the petition for nullity of marriage. So that is different section. For 13B, there is a limitation for 6 months. That is for the cooling period. But now the Supreme Court is saying, there are several judgments of the Supreme Court, that if the marriage is irretrievably break down, in that case the cooling period should be waived. And
right,
in one of the case of the Rakesh Raman versus Kavita, in that judgment discusses the prolonged separation of the parties and the irretrievable breakdown of their marriage, highlighting the failed attempt of at the mediation and the allegations of the cruelty and the desertions
right,
from the both sides. This is what observed in Rakesh Raman versus Kavita, the Supreme Court in 2023. And the another case is Rupa Soni versus Kamal Narayan. In this case, the Supreme Court elaborates the concept of mental cruelty can vary based on the circumstances of each case. See, the cruelty, though it is defined, but every time the whatever the ingredients for cruelty, it differs from person to person. If the one of my case, the both the husband and wife are they doctors, sorry, they doctors, and the couple, the wife is working in different hospital and husband, but all the time the husband used whenever he used to come to house, he just grab her from the backside, which she don't like at all. She is saying this amounts to cruelty. And the husband is saying, after a long period, when I just meet her, I just want to hug her. This is how the things are. How it is interpreted by individual in their way. So in different cases, the Supreme Court elaborates the different I can say the cruelty is defined in a different manner, but that is one of the recognized ground for the divorce. But it's very difficult to prove the cruelty.
Right. Ma'am,
Yes.
I just had a quick question on the same. So I think in general we see that in India the divorce proceedings are pretty complex and they take a lot of time. So in
Yes.
your practice, have you seen any sort of procedural, I mean, if I should put it that way, procedural shortcuts which help
Yes.
accelerate the cases and get the divorce faster? So if you could
Yes.
just talk about that.
Yes. For that, we are just trying for converting the divorce petition on the ground of cruelty into 13B. Most of the times, the bargaining about the alimony. You are aware of the suicide by the that Subhash from Bangalore, that the wife was demanding 2 crores for the divorce. This is how the things are going on to curtail the period. If the mediation and the other thing, the all the courts and even state and the parliament, every center and the state, every authorities are taking steps to curtail the period of divorce petition. And that is the sole these sole I can say the condition is to take both these spouses together and settle the matter mutually, and then convert your petition into 13B petition. And there are certain terms, and all the time I have gone through the cases in regard to the Sridhan and the permanent alimony. In case of issues, then the welfare and the expenses on the kids. This is the issue roll around all these 2 3 conditions, 2 3 the demands or whatever say. So if the wife is agreed for the certain term, putting certain terms and condition, and the husband accepted that condition, in that case the time for the divorce would be curtailed. But there is but it is totally depend on the individual. Sometimes what happened, the husband don't want to give divorce. He all the time saying he is ready to stay with her. And in some other cases, vice versa, wife don't want to give the husband is staying. Now the Supreme Court is saying that the living in the relationship is legalized. Then the other thing, so many all these because of that the wives, those wives are not agreed for the divorce to the person husband who is staying in living in relation from other. See, this is the only way for curtailing the period for the divorce is the mutual consent divorce, to bring the parties together and settle their matter by putting certain terms and conditions.
That actually clarifies a lot of things, ma'am. And as you mentioned that in a lot of times you use these shortcuts of maybe having mutual consent and some out of court settlements. Maybe if you can
Yes,
walk us through how do these out of court settlements
yes,
work, and
yes,
maybe like when client comes to you, for example, there might be certain complicated cases of say domestic
yes,
violence or say
yeah,
cruelty.
right,
So in that
yes,
aspect, how do you weigh about like if to make a client to go for out of court settlement or if it should be going through the litigation processes? Because both the processes would have their own pros and cons. In litigation, it is
yes,
like delayed kind of
yeah,
justice system, and
yeah.
then in like in the out of court settlement, like can you just walk us through that process itself? That how do you advise the clients on that?
Yes. First, if the wife comes to me, I used to send a legal notice, and in that legal notice, I used to put a paragraph. If you are want to settle the matter, to reply within a 15 days, or come to my office for the conciliation, and the both the parties would be. I used to call both the parties in my office and just remove their misunderstandings. And if they even I have cases that I reunite the husband and wife, and the wives went to their matrimonial place from my office only. Because this husband don't want to go to in-laws place, the wife come to my office with the belongings, and then the husband took her to back. The conciliation is the thing that they, if they in some quarrel or some untoward incidents, and then out of the grudge or out of the anger, the wife um, went to the parents place, or sometimes she had been dragged out of the house. In that case, in the out of the anger, if she comes to me, in that case I agree for the legal notice. I say yes, for your sake I am sending the legal notice. And after counseling, if she change her mind, in that case, or if she is rigid, this I just this don't want to stay with that man, in that case we are saying I just advise her, what is your expecting after the divorce, what is your expectation towards permanent alimony or your sridan and the gifts and everything. Then I used to ask her to prepare the list of the gifts and the sridan and everything. And then after the reply, if the husband replies my notice or came to me for the for counseling, in that case I used to ask him that she don't want to stay with you, you cannot force. Even the supreme court is saying that no one can force. Even the one of the even the husband or the wife want to stay, either of them is ready for staying or continuing their matrimonial issue. If the wife or the one of them is not ready to stay, then no one can compel them to stay together. In that case, see the most of the time 13b petitions I used to file. And otherwise, if it is not possible, then there is the family court also. There are the mediators and the counselors. The first 3 days are for the counseling, and then the mediation, and most of the time they say that is the only way for curtailing the long period of the divorce petitions pending before the family courts. Do you want more explanation on this issue? The first is the legal notice. The first step is the legal notice, and then the 15 days period for the replying, and then the counseling if the parties are ready to sit together. Otherwise, the filing of the petition, divorce petition on the n number of grounds, and then the counsel before the counselor, the parties can settle the issue. Or even at the last stage, when the evidence everything has been adduced before the court, and at the time of the final hearing also, the parties can settle at any point of time if they are agreed.
Yes, mom, that actually explains the process really well. Honestly, like reading all these sections by section in the classes, and then hearing the how it actually works out in the courtroom, how much of the negotiation comes in the place rather than it being just limited
Yes.
to litigation, actually clarifies a lot of things. And ma'am, as you just mentioned about a lot of times you would have to take the route of the mutual consent itself. What if the other partner does not agree with the mutual consent? And at times we had seen the Supreme Court intervening, as you have already mentioned, about the irretrievable breakdown of marriage. So if you
Yes.
can maybe tell us a bit more about that, that how does this idea of irretrievable breakdown of marriage work? What factors does Supreme Court actually cover in when they actually take this
Article
route?
152. Article 152. The Supreme Court passing the order under Article 152, when there is a if there is a long period and the marriage, the if the marriage is just 2 years before, and the for single for the any of the orders goes to the High Court and the Supreme Court, in that case the High Supreme Court is not saying it's a irrevocable breakdown of the marriage. If there is a long period, if there is a longest period like 10 years, 20 years, the litigants are facing the litigations, and they are suffering on the sides, and they have wasted the time and the age also. They lost everything in their life. In that case, the Supreme Court is saying that it's a irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. In that case, under Article 142, the Supreme Court passes the order.
Right. I just wanted to ask more about that. So I think, for example, if there are different other grounds of divorce, if we look at
Yes.
maybe cruelty or desertion, I think we see that there's a very thin line of what is normal wear and tear of marriage and what is actually cruelty or desertion. So what is legally sufficient evidence? So in this case, I think when clients come to you how
Yes,
do you go about advising them on documenting this evidence of, for example, physical cruelty or
yes,
desertion
yes.
or adultery in that matter? So how do
If
you go
there,
about that?
yes, if there is a abuse and the beating, then the medical certificate. If the wife is beaten, the mercilessly beaten by the in-laws or the husband or the other person from the matrimonial house. In that case, if she lodged a report, the police took her to the medical examination and the medical evidence for the beating, the cruelty. Then they starving. Sometimes what happened? The food is not provided to the daughter-in-law and the wife. Then in that case also the medical evidence and the other things, the if the neighbor given some food from the window, or if, she has been locked up in the house, not allowed to go outside, not allowed to talk with the mother, father, checking her mobile phones and the keeping the watch on her activities. All these amounts to cruelty. All these amounts to cruelty.
Right. And ma'am, what about the cases of desertion?
Desertion. The thing is that the in that case the husband is not treating the wife as a wife. Whatever her right as a wife, that is not fulfilled, that is the desertion. That no cohabitation. The husband is staying in the different room, the wife is staying in the different room. There is no communication between them and nothing like that. And he is not providing anything. See, if the wife is a housewife, she is not a working lady. In that case, the every responsibility providing food, shelter, and the everything is a responsibility of the husband. And even her right as a wife, even the sexual satisfaction is also one of the need of the wife. That if the husband is not fulfilling, that is also cruelty and that is also desertion. So in that case also, see, this is how the things, since the beginning in Hindu marriage act, what I have initiated, that the wives were deserted. The wives were deserted because of the, in some cases there is extramarital affair, or in some case the husband is of the say the uh, just forced by the husband, mother and father to marry. And the wife, he don't like that wife, or uh, she is not of his choice. So many things are there for the desertion.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I think your insights have added so much value to our project because in our classes we only learn the black letter of the law. We just
Mhm.
discussed this theoretically, that there's this concept of cruelty, marital rape, but we never
Yes,
knew that there are so many intricacies involved on the
yes,
process of this
yes,
in the ground
yes,
on the ground.
yes.
On that note, thank you so much for your time. We're so grateful. You've been so generous with your time. And you've been so patient and so nice to us to explain all of these concepts in such a
Hope,
nice way.
hope you understand the divorce concept and marital rape and Article 142. The Supreme Court also need to examine while exercising power under Article 142 in case of irretrievable breakdown of marriage. Though parties has not given a consent, but if there is a no possibility of reunion, in that case also there are the different lines, or I can say the Supreme Court has observed on some issues in regard to this. The recent Supreme Court cases, I have taken out all that thing, but because we don't have so much time, so it's
Right.
okay. And I
But
also thank.
but I'm so grateful that we could actually understand how the real life actors, the husband, wife, in-laws, how they
Yes,
are so involved in the process, and how importantly the substantive law, which is the
yes,
HMA, actually interacts with the procedural law, like you mentioned on the ground.
yes.
So we are so grateful
Thank
for your time and your knowledge.
you.
We are so
Thank you.
grateful. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.